Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about 5 important things that you needed prior to buying a $2,000 or $3,000. How much, God knows how much you want to spend on buying a camera, because these things are expensive. And 5 key things that you can invest in before buying a camera, build your content creation journey, and then is the right time to buy a camera so that you don't waste all your money in the camera or invest all your money in the camera in the beginning, and then you have no money to spare to support all of stuff. That brings to the very first point, is the audio. I mean, like, sound is 50% off your audio. If you're making any content that is related to a storytelling, that is related to, you are talking to people, you are trying to tell a story, having a good microphone is really essential. Now for the sound, having a wireless microphones are the best one. You don't need to buy expensive $1,500 of microphone very initially, and don't go for 20 bucks of microphone at the same time. I used to buy cheap 20 bucks that doesn't give you enough battery time to record, because the one that I'm using is somewhere in the middle. You don't need to buy like $300-400 off DJI or Rode mic. Start with anything middle range, gives you a good battery time, has a good name out in the market, and they also gives you good features, something like a noise canceling. Now it is not going to be as crazy as like a movie Hollywood level, but you will get some sort of noise canceling that helps you in the post-production to edit the videos to sound it more clear to your viewers. Second thing is going to be, which is the most important I consider before buying anything, depending on what kind of content you're creating. If it's something like that is going to be stable, you need something stationary. You're setting a wide shot, like here I'm talking, not a much of movement going on. Getting a tripod, investing in a tripod is heavy is a really good investment for you. Now for example, I have this 20 bucks tripod that I bought it from Amazon. If you're, as per the video, whoever the viewers are watching, if you are using your smartphone to record, this is a really nice tripod. It lasted me almost 3 years. 20 bucks for a 3 year if you're recording on a smartphone, big yes. I'm like, it's a really good investment. You can film anything on the tripod. This is a really good investment. If you're recording on a phone, gives you a stabilized effect. You don't have to hold it. You are not going to get tired, and all your energy is going to be invested into the video to tell your story, say your lines. So that's one thing you need a tripod. Now if your videos are going to be with a lot of motion, now smartphones already have some motion in it, stabilizer, image stabilization in it, but I would highly recommend you to get a gimbal or a smartphone stabilizer. You can get a cheap one on the Facebook for 50 bucks, around somewhere like that. And 50 bucks is not a big deal, but it's a day and night change when you wanted to film something that is in a motion. For example, if you're doing a fitness content and you are the only one, you are a solo creator, you don't have someone to record it for you, you can just place it somewhere, do the autofocus tracking. It will track you while you're doing pull-ups, you're moving around here and there. That is a really good investment for a $50. So we are at 150 bucks right now. Now the third investment is a tie-up. It's going to be a very big investment, and it's a tie-up between, because of the, depending on the availability, the kind of content you're creating. If it's need a heavy editing, you need to add VFX, you need to add sound effects, crazy lines and everything. You can do it on the phone with a CapCut, but you need a good laptop and editing software. And it's a tie-up between a good lighting. Now both the things you can push back a little bit. You don't need to buy on the day one, but as I said, a good lighting can make or break your video, because if it's a video where audio is important for sure, but visual is also important, you're trying to tell a story, you need emotions, you need to see facial expressions for the people, then a good lighting will help. And if it's a video where you have a multiple angle shots and everything, you need a crazy sound effects. It's kind of like a trailer, cool reels that you see on the Instagram. You need a good editing software to edit those videos. Now this can be done on the CapCut. If you're trying to do those pre-made templates, you can start with that. but eventually you have to learn the good editing software, at least to start up. You don't have to be a master of anything. You need to start with a good editing software. Now, the reason for that is, if you can afford an editor, best thing you can do, hire an editor. They will do the job for you. But if you're not, you need to have a good laptop, so that initially you are editing with a smartphone. Footage is not that heavy. You don't need an expensive laptop or anything with the expensive software to edit. But once you stop making content and you get interested in, you wanted to invest more, you switch to a heavy DSLR or mirrorless cameras, the footages are going to be half a terabyte or so. Then you need an expensive laptop and a heavy software that can edit those high quality footage. Invest early on, buy a laptop with, take a look for the software which you want to use. Take a look what are their not the minimum but the recommended requirements in order to edit a smoothly 4K footage, because 4K is the way to go now. 1080p is still good, but 4K, if you try to edit in 4K, it gives you like more details basically. So yeah, editing, invest in a good laptop and a good lighting. Now with the lighting, you don't have to go for 1,500, 1,500 bucks on a good lighting. You can start with anything, a lamp light like I'm using right now. This one. This is like 25 bucks on Walmart. You can use this light. Now lighting can help you a lot. It can give you good cinematic effects. Definitely once you start making money in the content creation, once you start saving up enough, definitely go for those soft lights, goes to the ring lights and different kinds. You can buy a ring light if you're shooting a lot of indoors. If you're shooting a lot of outdoors and you have like a whole team with you, they can hold the lights up and everything. Do that in the night. That's why it's a tie between 4 and 5. You can switch up here and there. Now the fifth thing, the very last thing, you can switch it up, push it up further later. It's not unnecessary. It's going to be a good background or backdrop. Now a backdrop or a background, if you're shooting a lot of things in the outdoor, nature is your background. If you're shooting a lot in the indoor and you don't want it to show your messy room, a good backdrop. This is regular curtains from the house. You can buy from any store, 20 to 40 bucks. At a similar price, you can get a backdrop as well. For 50 bucks, get a stand, get a backdrop, covers everything. It's a plain background. You can start with that. If you say like, this backdrop helps a lot creating a deep shadows and lights as well. You can put light around the backdrop, front, lower, move the curtains, and that way you can change the lighting in the room, create the shadows. That is also a big help in a post-production. If you switch the lightings in while during filming, it just saves time. But a backdrop is not a necessary if you're shooting outdoors, depending on based on what kind of content you have. I would highly recommend you to get it before getting a camera. Now you have invested all the money on the side things, which are people think are the side things, but actually important when it comes to creating content or actually doing a filmmaking process. Once you did this, now you're heavily invested. Go with this piece for at least 6 months to a year, so that you also know that you are interested in this, you like doing this, you have to do it, whatever the reason is, you are sticking to the process. Now you're able to save money, buy a good camera. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Thank you for watching, and hit like, subscribe, share, comment your reviews about the video or what kind of other content you wanted. This channel is going to be basically a documentary of my life, how it's going to transform over the years. I don't know what's going to come next, what's not, but definitely I will be posting short films here and there whenever I have the scripts, when I have the filmings. But in the meantime, I will be putting these filler videos based upon your advice, what kind of videos you want, what kind of, on what topics you want my opinions, just a pure random stuff. Peace out. Follow me on Instagram, DM me your suggestions. Follow me on TikTok. I post random stuff over there too. Peace out.